The bright Scottsdale sun reflected off a fleet of luxury cars parked in front of Prestige Motors, a dealership renowned for catering to an elite clientele. Inside the showroom, pristine vehicles gleamed under overhead lights, and impeccably dressed employees chatted with practiced ease. But the day was about to take an unexpected turn. Daryl Carter parked his unassuming SUV in the backlit, far from the spotlight. He stepped out wearing a simple gray hoodie, well-worn jeans, and sneakers, an outfit designed to go unnoticed. But Daryl wasn't just another potential customer. He was the new owner of Prestige Motors. Having acquired the dealership recently, Daryl wanted to see how it truly operated when no one knew who he was. He wasn't there to make an entrance or demand attention. Instead, he wanted authenticity, an unfiltered view of the culture he now owned. As he stepped into the air-conditioned showroom, Daryl took in the glinting cars, the polished floors, and the faint scent of leather. Conversations hushed as employees caught sight of him. Their glances were quick but telling, judging the man in the hoodie without a second thought. Then Susan Banks, the showroom manager, approached. Her sharp blazer and heels radiated authority, but her tight-lipped smile barely masked her disdain. "Excuse me," Susan said, her tone clipped. "Can I help you?" Daryl offered a calm smile. "Just browsing," he said, gesturing to the cars. Susan's gaze lingered on his outfit before replying, "Our inventory caters to a specific clientele. Most of our vehicles require pre-qualification. Perhaps I could suggest something more accessible?" Her words, polite on the surface, stung with condescension. Daryl's smile remained steady. "What makes you think I'm not qualified?" Susan hesitated, then recovered with a dismissive shrug. "I've been in this business a long time. I can tell when someone's out of their depth." Susan handed Daryl a list of pre-owned vehicles, sedans, hybrids, and older SUVs. She added, "These are more practical options for someone in your situation." Daryl tucked the paper into his pocket, his tone still even. "Appreciate the effort. Mind if I speak to the owner?" Susan blinked, caught off guard. "The owner? That's not possible. They don't drop by for casual visits." Daryl chuckled softly. "Maybe you could give them a call. Let them know I'm here." Susan's patience frayed. "Sir, if you're not serious about buying a car, I'll have to ask you to leave." Daryl nodded thoughtfully and pulled out his phone. "All right, I'll call the owner myself." Confusion flickered across Susan's face as Daryl dialed. Around them, employees exchanged puzzled glances. Daryl spoke briefly into the phone, ending the call with a smile. "They'll be here shortly," he said. Minutes later, the glass doors swung open, and Alex Reynolds, the regional director, entered. His suit was sharp and his stride confident, but his warm smile faltered as he noticed Daryl standing in the center of the showroom. "Mr. Carter," Alex greeted, extending his hand. "Welcome." The room stilled. Susan's clipboard slipped from her grasp as her face drained of color. "Wait," she stammered. "Mr. Carter?" Alex nodded, his tone brisk. "Daryl Carter, the new owner of Prestige Motors." Daryl's calm gaze met Susan's. "It's nice to finally meet you, Susan." The staff gathered in the sleek conference room, their chatter muted under the weight of tension. Daryl stood at the head of the table, composed but firm. "I'm Daryl Carter," he began. "As of last month, I own this dealership. Today, I came dressed casually because I wanted to see how this business operates when no one knows who I am." His voice carried authority but remained measured. "What I experienced was disappointing. I was judged not for what I could offer, but for how I looked. And while this might seem like an isolated incident, it speaks to a deeper problem, a culture of assumptions and bias." He paused, letting the weight of his words settle. "This isn't just about me. It's about every customer who walks through those doors. If we're going to maintain Prestige Motors' reputation for excellence, we need to change." Turning to Susan, Daryl's tone softened. "Susan, you're an experienced manager, and I believe you've worked hard. But today was a wake-up call, not just for you, but for all of us." Susan's voice trembled as she spoke. "I made a mistake, Mr. Carter. I misjudged you, and I'm truly sorry." Daryl nodded. "Thank you for saying that. Change starts with accountability. Moving forward, We're implementing training programs to ensure everyone is treated with respect, no exceptions. His gaze swept the room. We're not just selling cars. We're building relationships. And how we treat people matters more than anything we sell. The staff murmured their agreement, the initial tension easing into a sense of renewed purpose. Susan approached Darrell as the meeting ended. "Mr. Carter," she said quietly, "thank you for giving me a chance to do better. I won't let you down." Darrell's expression softened. Actions speak louder than words. "But I believe people can change if they're willing to try." As Darrell stepped back into the showroom, he felt the shift in energy. The dealership wasn't just about cars anymore. It was about integrity, respect, and leading by example. And under Darrell Carter's leadership, Prestige Motors would thrive, not because of its luxury cars, but because of the culture it cultivated. The lesson was clear. Never judge a book by its cover. You might miss the story of a lifetime.